Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick video on my pedal board here. Um, I guess I'll just go through each of these pedals, just kind of explain. And many of you, I'm sure probably already know what these do, but I'll just go through each one here in case anyone's interested in learning more about the pedals I have here. Yep, so first on in the chain, I'll go in order of how these pedals are wired through here, but first we got just a regular Boss chromatic tuner. It does the job. I'm sure there's probably better tuners out there, but this one, it's worked for me, so just a regular old Boss tuner there. And then from there, it's actually going into the POG. Which is the polyphonic octave generator. So basically just what this does, and I'm sure a lot of you probably already know, but it does a lot of different things. I actually don't know I haven't messed around with all the settings on here, but there's a lot of sounds you can get out of this thing. But essentially it does that octave down sound where, it'll kind of, you kind of get that bass frequency mixed in with your guitar tone. Sounds pretty cool actually. But you can do a lot of these sliders. You can make it sound like an organ. There's different ways that you can, and I'll do like a more in-depth demo I think on these in a later video. But you can do a whole lot with this thing. But it's primarily an octave pedal. You can do octave up, octave down, make it sound like an organ type of sound for your guitar, so it's pretty cool. You can do like little presets on the side and all that, so I'll have to do a more in-depth video on this. But yep, so it's going from the tuner into the POG, and then from the POG it goes into the Qtron, which is an awesome pedal, envelope filter. So a lot of people call it like an auto wah. So instead of like a wah pedal where you're using your foot, as soon as you play a note, it automatically does a wah on that note. So kind of automatically, it's like an automatic wah pedal. Easiest way to explain it, I would say. Really cool pedal. Use it all the time. And you can combine these. A lot of times I'll combine the POG with the Qtron, which is a really cool sound. So that's the Qtron. From the Qtron, it goes into the overdrive, the overdrive pedal here, King of Tone, Analog Man. I got this years ago on Facebook Marketplace. I drove all the way down to Rhode Island I live up in New Hampshire, and drove all the way to Rhode Island. I saw it listed on Facebook Marketplace. It had all the receipts, the stickers, all the box, the papers, everything like that. Everything, the guy had everything, and so I knew it was legitimate. It was signed by Analog Man, so it's got his signature on the back plate. It actually came with two back plates, interesting. So you can actually have one back plate that has the Velcro on it that holds it to the pedal board, and then it's got another back plate that's actually signed by Analog Man. So I'm keeping that one in the box. But I mean, there's been a million videos done about the King of Tone. It's a great pedal. The left side is more of like a clean boost overdrive, and then the right side is more of like a heavier overdrive. The way I have it set there. So awesome pedal. And then it's kind of like two pedals in one. So you can get like the clean boost tones and then the heavier overdrive tones there too. So, yep. So moving from that, I have that going into the Analog Man compressor. So I'm a big fan of Trey Anastasio from Fish. And the way he has it set up is he's got two tube screamers. So instead of two tube screamers, I have the two sides of the King of Tone. And he's got the tube screamers instead of the King of Tone, but he's got those tube screamers, the way Trey has it set up, going into the Ross compressor. This is a clone of that Ross compressor. that Analog Man makes. So he uses the same exact circuit that's in the Ross compressor, but he's got a couple of extra controls here on his version of it, which are actually really quite useful. So, you know, the original Ross compressor, like the one that Trey uses, it only has these two knobs right here, the sustain and the volume. But what Mike Piera, really great man, by the way, I've emailed back and forth with him before, and really great guy. What he decided to do with his version of the Ross compressor, he actually added a mix knob so you can blend in your dry signal into the compressed signal. So kind of like if you know parallel compression, a lot of folks do that. They have the compressed signal and then they blend in the dry, just the plain signal from your guitar, and it makes it sound a little bit more clear rather than just having the compressed signal going through. So that's a really cool feature he added there. And then he added an attack knob here so you can adjust that. I usually just keep it right at noon, you know, just the standard setting there. But really great compressor, so it kind of gives, you know, the overdrive and, you know, overdrive going into that compressors gives a little bit of that Trey sounding tone. Not exactly like Trey's, you know, I'm not looking to completely emulate Trey's rig, but, you know, he's a big influence on me as a guitar player for many years. So this is kind of my take on a similar style of sound to that. So from that, so it goes from, the signal is going from the Analog Man through the compressor, and then it goes into this MXR Phase 100, which is from the 1970s. I don't know exactly what year it's from, but I found this. I wasn't looking for this pedal, actually. I found it at a guitar shop in Methuen, Massachusetts, called the Guitar Garage, I believe it's what it's called. And I saw it was sitting in the case there, and you know, I wasn't looking at buying one. I mean, I knew what they were, but I was talking to the owner, and you know, he said, yeah, you know, someone came in here, you know, looking to sell it. We have it. I haven't even priced it out. I have no idea what it's worth. And, you know, I said, oh, well, that's a really cool pedal. You know, you mind if I plug it in? So, you know, we plugged it in. It looks like, it turned out the battery, there was an issue with the connection on the battery, because these things use batteries. They don't have a, like a plug-in jack like a lot of the new pedals do. Like they'll have the plug going in there. This one doesn't have it, but I added an adapter later that actually, it hooks into the battery, place where the battery goes. So there's actually no battery in this. There's a wire that connects to that I got. So it actually is connected by a wire, but these take batteries. So, you know, just because they're so old, they're made in the 1970s. So, but it's a really cool pedal. And, you know, I said, hey, you know, you know, any idea what you would be looking for this pedal? You know, what, you know, would you be opposed to looking it up on eBay? You know, seeing kind of what they go for. So we did look it up in the shop, and you know, he ended up getting me a really good price on it. You know, way better than actually what they were asking for on eBay, which initially I pushed back on. I said, you know, hey, I want to give you a reasonable price. He said, no, you know, it looks like it's going to a good, you know, a good place. You know, you're going to actually use it. So, so he was really nice. He gave me a really good deal on it. And here it is. But it's a great sounding pedal. It's got these different controls. You can control the speed of it, kind of the speed of how fast it modulates. I'll do a more in-depth video on these pedals, but it's got that, and then the intensity over here. So kind of play around with those, but it's a really cool pedal. I use this together with the Qtron. It sounds really cool. Actually, one of my favorite sounds is the Phase 100, the Qtron, and the Pog on at the same time. Really, really cool sound. Yeah, so that's the Phase 100. From there, it goes into the Super Puss, which is, it's a delay pedal. analog delay pedal. Trey also uses one of these pedals, as I'm sure a lot of you know. But it's just an analog delay pedal. It's I have it set pretty low. You know, it's really just kind of, I have it set as a very light light delay, just to give it a little bit of you know, a little bit of light delay on the sound. I don't like a lot of heavy delay on my guitar sound, but it's a great pedal. It's got a lot of different controls, that most of which I don't really use, but it sounds great. It does the job. It's great. Analog delay. So there's that, and then that just goes right into the loop station here. RC5, and you know, it's a looper. There's a bunch of different types of loopers. This is a great one. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the pedal board. You know, I'm gonna try to do some more of these videos here to show you guys, if you guys are interested, anyone's interested in pedals or guitar, or you know, I do a lot of home recording as well. So hopefully I'll get into some videos involving some recording stuff too. If you guys are interested, let me know. But yep, there's a quick rundown of my pedal board here. But yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in hearing more. But thanks again for watching, and hope everyone has a great day. All right, thanks again.